Politics, commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
Let me be clear. Let me be absolutely clear. Let me be clear. Let me make something clear. Let me be clear. So we must be clear. And so I want to be very clear here. Just to be clear. I also want to be clear, but let me be clear. So let me be clear. But let me be clear. Success should be judged by results. Now let me be clear. I just want to clear something up here. If you like your doctor, you will be able to keep your doctor. Period. If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. Period.
Yeah, period. I love that. I love that. I could play that all day long. All right, look, I am not a millennial. I don't know what the heck I am, to be honest with you. I've lost track. But we have a real, live, true millennial sitting next to me, columnist for townhall.com, author of a great new book, Let Me Be Clear. And that's why we played Barack Obama saying, let me be clear. And we welcome in Katie Kieffer. Great to see you.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
No, my pleasure. Let me be clear. Let me read the rest. Barack Obama's War on Millennials and One Woman's Case for Hope. And if you turn to the back, there's a letter. You wrote a little short letter to Barack Obama. How has he not lived up to expectations for millennials?
Well, 68% of millennials voted for Barack Obama in 2008, 60% in 2012. And the reason they did so was because he said that he was going to reduce the debt, he was going to create all these jobs. And so there was a lot of hope for great things. But isn't it interesting that when you look out there now, over 15% of millennials are unemployed, over a third are living at home with their parents, and those are historic highs. That for the past 40 years, we haven't had as many young people living at home with their parents. And so he has let us down he's broken nearly every promise. But the good news is there is hope. And in this book, I provide many solutions, and they're practical solutions. For example, Obamacare is going to hit us pretty hard. Yeah. Our generation is going to have to pay that price if it ever were to work the way Obama wants it to.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
So what I did is I interviewed close to 300 doctors and surgeons.
And came up with I was going to say the Republicans might want to do that too, because we're still waiting for their official alternative plan.
Yes, I specifically wrote that chapter hoping that some Republicans, some politicians would read it and use it as the blueprint for creating some good legislation. Because you're right, I haven't heard many solutions, but doctors do have solutions, and they're in this book. There's also many entrepreneurial solutions for how young people can take back their American dreams.
I can understand almost how millennials got hoodwinked, or as Obama likes to say, okey-doked, bamboozled the first time around. But things weren't so great the second time around after the first 4 years leading into the 2012 elections. How did they get bamboozled again, or was it just a natural thing to do, to pull the lever for him?
No, that's a very good question. And in fact, leading into the 2012 elections, millennials the polls showed that they were not going to vote for Obama in such high numbers. And he was getting very worried about that. And so that's why he and Michelle, and they recruited Bill Clinton to help them as well. They went out there and said, if you vote for me, you will go to college and you will not have to pay any student debt. You're going to have free health care, at least until you're 26. And so they really ramped up those promises. Also, the GOP didn't do themselves too many favors with some of the mistakes I would say that they made. And so I offer ways that the GOP can stay true to their core values, but also present entrepreneurship and the free markets in a new way that's going to resonate more with young people in the future.
And for instance, I mean, what's better than offering young people, I mean, not you, not like-minded people to you, but what's better than saying, hey, I'll give you free phones, I'll give you free this, I'll pay for that, I'll pay for that. How do you beat that offer?
Well, the good news is
I like that. That's the second time she said the good news is. Okay, I like good news, yes.
There's a study that just came out from Deloitte, and they studied the millennial generation. 70% of my generation say that they want to be an entrepreneur someday. Many young people see Steve Jobs as a role model, and he's woven into this book as well because he wasn't a big Obama fan. And I point out to young people, if you want to be an entrepreneur, we need to get on a different track. because it's very hard to do that right now. So if the conservatives and the Republicans and independents can speak to that wonderful desire that that we naturally have, and also at the same time, there's a Harvard poll that came out that says that young people have lost trust in the president. They're not going to come out and vote in such high numbers. If they do vote, they're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. And so that is why this message is so important, to show people that Hillary, because she and her husband are woven in here as well, would be the same as Bill Clinton and do the same things, and why we need a new breed of politician for the future.
What about social issues? Do you believe that Republicans need to, I don't want to say sell their soul, but compromise and lose maybe the core base of their party on issues of gay marriage and other issues to attract millennials? Do you think that that's millennials that's important to do or not?
Well, I'll say it a third time. The good news is we don't have to compromise on values. There's a chapter in there called Why Fathers Matter, and I go into the importance of families, and I show that young people today are socially libertarian. So that means that they're okay with their friend living their life a different way from them, but they don't want the federal government to tell them how to live. And that's all in our Constitution. The 10th Amendment protects the rights of individuals and states to make certain decisions with regard to marriage. And I point that out, and if we abide by the 10th Amendment and the First Amendment, we, as conservatives, independents, libertarians, we can stay true to our values without compromising. And at the same time, other people can live their lives freely as they so choose.
We got about a minute left, so it's not fair, but how do you combat the media? The media direct, Obama goes on Jon Stewart and this and it's cool, and the Republicans are stuffed shirts and starchy shirts and supposedly old white man crotchety. How do you fix that?
I encourage,
how do you fix the perception, the media coverage?
Oh, the media coverage?
Yeah.
Well, that's where my generation, we need to speak up and we need to demand more accountability from the media. And we're all so socially connected that young people, if they each use their individual social media accounts to ask for a message, to say, "Dear @Barack Obama, I want accountability,"
right.
We will have change.
The book, Let Me Be Clear, and it's by Kieffer, and you would do well to pick it up and to read it. And I thank you. So great to see you. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. All right, folks, we'll be back with more of the Steve Malzberg Show, what John Boehner did today. Don't go away.